Alright, so, I'm going to do a review on Marvel's Jessica Jones series that just premiered. Since it just premiered, I'm not going to do a lot of spoilers. There'll be minor spoilers, mind you, and if you don't want to hear spoilers in general, because the show did literally, as of this recording, just premiere, and I've just been marathoning the shit out of it, so... yeah, so I'm just going to do some minor spoilers. I would normally do major spoilers, but I don't want to ruin it for anybody, so if you haven't seen it yet, go on to Netflix, check it out. You can find all 13 episodes readily available. Boom, right there. So, what did I think of this? This is really good. Now, the big thing here with this is that, I'm just going to say this right now, this is not a kid's show. It's the same thing I had with Daredevil. And I don't mean that as an insult. In fact, I'm actually really glad that, Marvel is doing stuff outside of, the kid stuff. Well, when I say kid stuff, I mean like the fun superhero stuff we've been seeing a lot in the Marvel movies. The haha, there's fun jokes there, but there can be serious stuff as well. But you never really see it go beyond that, and as well as Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And then Daredevil came out and reminded us, hey, Marvel can do dark and gritty stuff and make it cool as well. And the Jessica Jones series follows that term that Daredevil set up, and I think it's really good. The funny thing is that Daredevil, while it was dark, it never really, it didn't feel grimy. You did want to root for Matt, and you wanted to see him succeed, because he always had that moral line, and that moral quandary there was always there, that moral line he always worried about crossing, and he hated when he had to cross it at times. Jessica, on the other hand, just takes the moral line and skips rope with it, because literally, this is a woman who is literally, in constant fear of Kilgrave. She is in constant terror of what this man can do. And here's the thing, David Tennant is so scary, and I think it's interesting that they didn't go the exact route with Kilgrave as they did with Kingpin. With Kingpin, you did root, he was a bad guy, don't get me wrong, and he did some really horrible things, but you could see, in some ways, you could almost root for this guy. You can almost see where he's coming from, and you see the love he had for Vanessa, as well as, how he kind of got the way he was, and you can understand him, and you can almost root for him, in a way. That's not exactly the same with Purple Man. With Kilgrave, he's just a monster. He has just been this over-obsessive monster, and it's scary, and David Tennant really knocks it out of the park of just being this kind of just really disturbing, very clever, very dangerous character. Tennant really knows how to play it off, and I know, some people are like, well, he's a little too silly. Well, when you've got that kind of power, I think you're allowed to flaunt it. I love that line he says when he's at the blackjack table, and he's at the gambling table, he's at the card table. And he's like, assholes try, I just do. And I was like, that just sums up the character in general. Yeah. But, yeah, he's awesome in here. He's probably one of the coolest things in here. Kristen Ritter as Jessica Jones, she is fantastic in here. Where you really, she's not like Matt Murdock. And I don't mean to compare the Jessica Jones series with the Daredevil series. I'm just saying that, Daredevil opened the door for, doing kind of more, a little more, dark and gritty stuff. Then in comes Jessica Jones, who just kicks that door open. Because she's a lot more violent, she's a lot more vulgar, and Daredevil, like I said, had that kind of moral high ground. You could follow them, and it didn't really get, too grimy. And here, there are just some really, Jessica does not have that kind of moral high ground. And yeah, she even says, "Look, I just follow people to keep up a job, and I follow people and watch them bone. That is literally my life here." So, with that, we have that Jessica was for a long time under Kilgrave's control, and she believed he was dead. And now she's trying to be a private investigator. It's not really going so well until she discovers that Kilgrave's back, and he wants to ruin my life. It's not like with. Again, and I'm not trying to sound comparative here, but it's And I don't mean to sound like Jessica Jones is not as good as Daredevil. It is. It's just as good as the Daredevil Netflix series. But I know there are going to be some people out there who are going to be like, this is not Daredevil. I know they're going to be like that. So I'm just saying, like, I'm just comparing the differences, and the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm glad Marvel's not falling into the line what they're doing with some of the Marvel villains, where they're just like, I'm evil, I'm going to blow up the planet. Yeah, He-Man. It's not like that at all. I'm glad they're giving some depth to their, because they actually have time to flesh them out. Like I said with Kingpin, where Kingpin could be the, this just unmovable force that Matt had to get over. But with Kingpin, it was like, well, I got a job to do. This Daredevil guy is getting in my way. I need to take him out. And then it became eventually personal to that point. With this, it's a lot more personal right out the gate. Because this is a guy who more or less did what he wanted for her, did what he wanted to her, because, well, he was just kind of obsessed with her, and you see that kind of obsession with her. It's almost like watching the Joker professing his love to Batman. It's really creepy. And there are just some brilliant scenes, and how they use the mind control is also awesome. And it's really cool to see this character who just does not give a bag of dicks about anyone or anything, because she does have that trauma going through. Here's the thing. You don't have to be in a combat zone to get PTSD. And it's clearly established that this girl has PTSD because what Kilgrave has done to her over the amount of time he was with her. All the supporting characters are great. I forget the actor's name who plays Luke Cage, but he's awesome. There's actually a great scene where you discover his powers, where he's fighting 3 rugby guys after he discovers that the girl he's with is actually married. Then her husband and a bunch of his guys who play rugby go out to hunt hunt Luke down. This dude is big. The guy playing Luke is, oh my god, he's huge. Like, it's 4 little white guys versus 1 giant dude. I didn't like their odds, and the fact that he had superpowers didn't help either. Well, but it was nice to see, it was nice to see Luke Cage and how he displays his power, as well as his relationship with Jessica form. I really love that, especially what you discover of how they're connected even before before Luke meets her. I really do enjoy that. But yeah, Luke was amazing. I know he's going to be getting his own Netflix show very soon, I believe, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how that is all going to play out in the coming month. Like, I think it's supposed to be next year. It's going to be Luke, if I'm not mistaken, it's Luke Cage and Daredevil Season 2. It's either Daredevil Season 2 that's coming out first, then Luke Cage, or it's 2 of them. I know that much. But yeah. This also feels like a very dark and very down-to-earth Marvel story, much like it's, Daredevil was. But this one, other than the superpowers, you could have easily made this a detective show right out the gate. But yeah, you'd have to remind yourself, oh, this is a Marvel TV show when you see the Marvel logo show up, and yeah. Because they do bring up, the Marvel characters here and there. There's also a nice little nod. If you listen to there's a radio, there's something on the radio, like a talk show going on, and you get a little quick mention of the Punisher and a few other characters, which I'm not going to bring up. I'm actually surprised that they didn't have, actually, I don't want to say it because I don't want to spoil anything. But yeah, there are some really great characters. The only ones that really irritated me were Ruben and Robin, these 2 weird-ass twins who are just living as their neighbors, and yeah, you really hate them. You really do hate them. And I actually feel there's actually a moment in here where something happens to them, and I feel no pity for them. In fact, I'm like, yay, I don't have to listen to them anymore. But yeah, this show is spectacular, because this really does deal with, and also I want to talk about Patsy Walker, Hellcat. We see her kind of grow up, and that she's been an actress under her mother's thumb, and yeah, now she's starting to try to get that empowerment, try to learn and train herself to never feel that kind of powerless again. But then after kind of teasing Kilgrave earlier in the show, she gets a grim reminder of how dangerous he can be. And that's the other thing, like I was talking about with the mind control. It really gets in your head as much as it does with Jessica as to who you can trust, because Kilgrave can just go out and mind control somebody, and they won't even know it. They won't even be able to stop themselves. That's the same thing with when they bring in Nuke. Yeah, Nuke is in this show. I don't want to spoil what they have with him. It's cool, and I like that what they do between him and Patsy. And I think he was a pretty interesting character for what he had. But yeah, all in all, this is a really great show, really gritty. I believe Brian Michael Bendis was like the overseer for this show, because obviously this took a lot more of Alias than it did the original comics with Jessica Jones as Jewel. They actually there's an interesting reference to Jewel within this TV show, but within this Netflix show. But yeah, I have to really stress, by the way, that this is not for kids. It's the same thing with Daredevil. It's not for kids. It's really good, but not for kids. Seriously, there are some moments here and there that I would not show my children if I had any, which I don't. So I'm good. Yeah. Man, I could go on and on about this show. It's just some great cinematography. Everyone has great chemistry in here. And again, Brian Michael Bendis really oversaw this, because again, this really plays more with Alias than it does than the original comic book that, Jewel is a part of, the character of Jessica Jones is. I mean, yeah, I know she's in the Marvel Universe, but like I said, this follows more of Bendis' Alias, so obviously he would be overseeing a lot of it. There was more I wanted to talk about in here. And also, I should also stress this right here. I should really stress this right here and now. If you have seen the show, please don't spoil anything in the comments below, because this show, as of this recording, just came out today, so please don't be mean and, spoil it for those who have not seen it yet or not been able to see the whole show through. Seriously, don't do that. Don't be mean. Come on. So yeah, you guys tell me, what did you guys think of the Jessica Jones Netflix show? Did you guys like it? Did you guys hate it? Just comment below, let me know, and once again, hope you all enjoyed this review, and I will see you guys later.